So it is July 16th, and this is the vulnerability vlog for this week. The last few days have just been, I'm exhausted. I'm really tired. And we're actually leaving on Wednesday for a month of vacation. So there's a lot of things that I need to get done. A lot on my to-do list this week. And also not that much on my to-do list this week because I gave myself permission to say, like, on Wednesday when we leave, we're going to be flying all day, and then we're going to be likely jet lagged Thursday and parts of Friday. So I'm also giving myself permission to be gentle with myself and to have small goals this week. But a lot of things have been going on. So first of all, we live in France, as you know. France won the World Cup yesterday. That was super exciting to watch the game. And then horns were honking and people were celebrating until fairly late at night. And so it was hard to sleep. And then actually I fell asleep, and then giant thunderstorms here. And so that woke me up. And so my brains are sort of cycling. And so this might not be the most well thought out vulnerability blog post. Not that all of them are, but this is sort of my free flow, right? My stream of consciousness. The thing that's been coming up a lot in the last couple of weeks, I've had some major shifts in my business, and they're feeling really good. I feel like I'm starting to have confidence that I know what I'm doing, and that I really can help people. And I see my clients who are making these huge leaps. And that has just been so wonderful to see. And I've been celebrating with them. And just this past week, I realized that I really wasn't celebrating myself. So it's brought up again those sort of thoughts and around it. Sometimes is so much easier to be there for other people than it is to be there for ourselves. And I've said this before, like it's so much easier to be your own worst critic and not to treat yourself with the same amount of nurturing, kindness and compassion that we treat others. That has been, this past week was a new moon, and my friends that are, that have been sort of teaching me about crystals and energy and new moons and all that stuff, were telling me this past week that new moons are a time when you're supposed to set your intention for what you want in the coming week. And so the intention that I set for myself is around resilience and about letting things go and about being my own being my own coach. I'm just gonna put it that way. Being my own coach, being my own support team, being my number one supporter. And so it was actually really interesting because I've had this book for a while, My Friend Fear, by Meera Lee Patel. And I every now and then pick it up and kind of skim through it. And yesterday I picked it up, and much like the oracle cards that I use sometimes, the page that I opened up to, the quote on that page just completely hit me in this way that I'm talking about, sort of being my own coach. So it says, the fear of being different forces me to be like everyone else. That I say this to people all the time. I say this to my clients all the time. I say this to my friends all the time. I say this to my kids all the time. My husband, you are not alone. Your fears are not alone. Your worries are not alone. Your struggles, you are not alone in them. And we all have those struggles. Yet for some reason in the back of my head, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm supposed to be different. I'm not supposed to be having these struggles. I'm not supposed to be, and those of you who follow this blog, that I'm pretty open and honest about the struggles that I have. And yet this voice is still in my head of like, oh yeah, right. But like, you're not actually supposed to, you're supposed to be different. So seeing that quote was just another slap to the face of reality, by that I am not alone and I am like everyone else. And that fear of being different is balanced by the sort of fear of being the same as everyone else. Just like my fear of failure in my business, because there's a lot of sort of fear of what if I invest this time and it doesn't work out, is balanced by my fear of success, because what if it does work out? So I just wanted to bring that up because I think there are so much of these the fears of both extremes, the fears of both things being true, that kind of cycles. And at least for me, you've heard me talk about sort of the tornado of thoughts in my head. This is the tornado of thoughts. I cycle between these two extremes: fear of success, fear of failure, fear of being different, fear of being the same. And both of those things can coexist, and both of those things can be true. And yet there's still that middle ground, right? Like, I am different and I am the same, and I am the same and I am different. And it's okay. It's all okay. I am not alone. You are not alone. We all have those extremes living inside of us. So the exercise that I am challenging myself with this week, and that I'm going to share with you today, again, in part because I'm going to have a lot more time away from my computer this week. So a lot more time to sort of be doing as I'm sitting on the airplane and dealing with jet lag, a lot more time of sort of being in my head and thinking through or journaling, is to kind of go through those fears. So listing 10 to 15 things that come up when I think about my fear of being different, and 10 to 15 things. 25. Whoa, that just came out of nowhere. Sure. 25. We'll see how it goes. 10 to 25 things. I said it again, of, that come up when I think about my fear of being the same. And this is always a really powerful exercise, right? What are the thoughts that come up when I actually engage my fear? So that's the challenge for this week. 10 to 15 things. I'm going to say it correctly this time. I'm going to think about it. 10 to 15 things that come up when I think about my fear of being the same. 10 to 15 things that come up when I think about my fear of being different. And then taking that next step, which is, so what if I'm afraid? So what if these things first of all, are these things really true? Likely, because I've done this exercise enough, I know that they usually aren't. But even if something comes up that really does feel true, so what? Is this a fear that is actually something that's protecting me from getting hurt? That's actually something that I need to listen to. Like a fear of crossing a busy road, you should probably have that fear. Or is this a fear that's just stopping me from really putting myself out there and moving forward in a way that's going to help me grow, because it's a fear that's keeping me safe and protected by living in the comfort zone. So, yeah. So I guess that's just what I wanted to share. That's what's coming up. That's what I'm processing this week. How my fear of being different brings up the fear of being the same. If you have any thoughts about that, I would love to hear them. Feel free to chime in. Love comments. I hope this was helpful for you. Yeah. Have a great week, and I will see you soon. All right. Bye.